Hey guys, welcome back to another gold making video for Dragonflight. In this one, I'm going to be showing you the top 5 gold making farming spots that I've personally been doing the last few weeks now that are really good. So starting off with number 1 is going to be a skinning farm, and it's going to be a very relaxing skinning farm which has a very good respawn, hyperspawn mechanic. So if you can see already, this is what we're going to be doing for the first farm, which is the wild proto drake skinning farm. You're obviously going to need skinning for this, and now why this is such a good farm is because you can just stand in the one spot. As you can see, there's a group here doing it right now. They could have a monk to make it a little bit better, but basically what they're doing is just pulling these drakes to this one spot, looting them up and skinning them. Very simple, and it works so good because they hyper spawn all around here, these dragons, meaning when they kill one, by the time the others would have respawned already, and you can just keep on continuously killing and skinning these and you'll never run out of mobs. Now this works best with a group. You can do this solo, and you can do this on pretty much any class. Obviously having a monk and some druids would be the ideal specs and classes to do this with, but you can come here like on your warrior, on your DK, on absolutely anything, and it is a great gold farm. And now what you're going to be getting from this farm are adamant scales, and you're also going to be getting the flawless drake, proto drake scales. Now this all adds up really quickly. Another thing that you get from here actually is the saturated bones, so you can actually level up your skinning here very fast. There's no limit on how many of these you can get, so it's a great spot to come and begin your skinning journey right here, and you'll get a whole heap of knowledge for skinning that you can actually use, and this will help boost up your skinning so then you can go do other skinning farms. But this is the first farm I recommend out of the 5. And where it is located is right here where I've got the mark on the map. So right here next to the Dragon Scale base camp, that is where you'll find this farm and be able to do it. Alrighty, so the second farm that I recommend is the glowing Titan Orb farm. And now where this is located is right here all around this big like building thing, the tile hold. So all around here you can kill all these elite mobs like these guys right here. So these ones, this big like woman thing. So all of these here have a chance to drop your glowing Titan Orb. Now they've got a fair bit of health, nearly like 900k health. So it is recommended to do this with a group of people. As you can see right now, we're basically just flying from one of these to the other, killing them and then moving on. They're like spread out all around here. It's a very good farm. Now these orbs are worth about 10k gold each, and they sell extremely good. They're used for enchanting, and it's nearly one of the only places you can actually get hold of these orbs. Now this is a very good farm. It's a bit RNG dependent, but it can make a whole heap of gold for you. And on minimum you should be making anywhere from like 50 to say 200k gold per hour, depending on how lucky you are with the loots. And obviously the main and only gold maker from these is the glowing Titan Orbs. Now the only real recommendation for this farm is having at least one tank. It comes in really handy if you have one tank, because these guys can hit a lot, so it's always good to have one tank just to handle all that damage. So now all these mobs, they do spawn all the way down here too, so you want to make sure you're going all the way down here and then all the way back up the top and getting all of the big elites. They're the ones that are going to drop the orbs. And that is the second farm that I recommend right now. Also, to find this farm or find someone doing it, you just want to come to customs, under dungeon and raids, go to pre-made groups and then search in orb. And now there should always be a whole heap of these farms up. As you can see, there's a whole heap of them right now. Any single one of these you want to get into, and you'll be able to start farming these. So if you didn't know what the item is, it's this right here. the glowing Titan Orb, crafting reagent, and as you can see, the minimum price for one of these right now is 8,250 gold, which is absolutely amazing. Right, on to the next farm. Okay, so moving on to the third farm now, which is the Rousing Air Farm. Now this is a great farm, and where it is located is right here. So I'll just zoom out a bit. So it is right here next to the river, right on the corner. And this is a very, very good gold farm, and you can make a whole heap of gold from this. So what you're going to be farming are the Rousing Airs, and they can be turned into Awakened Airs, and they sell extremely well on the auction house, both of these items. And the best way to do this is with a group, so a 2x4 group. And what you want to be doing is pulling these big guys and the little guys too, and as you can see, you get a whole heap of the Rousing Airs, which add up a lot of gold. It's a very, very good gold farm to be doing, and I highly recommend come give it a go. There's a whole heap of these groups in the custom part of the group finder. So if you go to pre-made groups under dungeons and raids, and you just search air farm, there's a whole heap of these, and they're all 2x4 because that is the best way and pretty much the only way to do this farm efficiently. So meaning there is 2 groups of 4 people, and you're going to want at least 1 monk to have a statue right in the middle here where this triangle is, and then the rest of the people you want to have pullers. And basically what they do is just pull these mobs like this back to the statue, where everyone just burns them down at the statue. It's a very, very good and simple gold farm, just like any 2x4 farm. It's the same thing, you just want to pull them all to your statue and then have the group kill them. And now you're going to get a whole heap of your Rousing Airs, which once you have 10 of those, you simply click on it and that will turn that into an Awakened Air, which these are selling currently for 480 gold each. So very, very good amount of gold from this farm. And as you can see, you're just killing an absolute insane amount of mobs here. It's ridiculous. But you are going to need at least 1 monk with a statue, and the rest of the guys can just be pullers. That is if you're making a group yourself. However, if you just find a group in the pre-made custom group finder thing, you just you should be right to join if you're either a druid, a monk, or a hunter. So the druid and the hunters are pullers, and then your monk will have the statue, and they only need 1 monk per group. And that is it for the second farm. No, the third farm. Moving on to the fourth. Alrighty, so the fourth farm is another Rousing farm, and what this one is for frost and fire. So it's got 2 of them in one. And now where this is located is in the Walking Shores, and it's located right here. Now they spawn up on the top here, and they spawn all the way down the bottom here. Now this works best with a 2x4 farm. Obviously with a monk with a statue is ideal. And basically you just want to kill these mobs all up here, pull them from down here. If you have a monk, you normally set up at this spot up here, and you can pull everything to the monk statue. And like I mentioned, you're going to be getting your Rousing Frost and your Rousing Fire, which you can turn into the Awakenings, and they sell extremely well on the auction house. Now this farm is usually called something like ice, well not even ice, it's called Frost and Fire farm. Don't know why this guy has ice and fire, but yeah, it's the Frost and Fire Rousing farm. And there's normally a whole heap of these in the custom group finder, and so you should be able to find a group very, very easily for this farm. And it is a great farm. You make around like 50 to 80k gold per hour here. Very relaxing, and the main good part about this is that there's actually 2 different rousing. So if the price on one of these is down, more than likely the other one should be up, and if you're very lucky, both of them will be up and very high in price. This is the 4th farm that I recommend right now to be doing. Here is another group that is doing it with the monk statue right down the bottom part. So they're pulling all the top ones like that, all the ones down the bottom straight to the monk statue, but they then killing them. Right, so moving on to the 5th and final farm for this video. Alrighty, so the fifth and final farm I recommend doing right now in Dragonflight is this cloth farm right here. So it's located right down the bottom of the Azor span, and this one hasn't been nerfed or anything. And what you're mainly going to be after here is the frostbitten wilder cloth, and you're also going to get your other cloths here. And this is just a really good hyper spawn with some insane kills per hour. So as you can see right there, you get all your cloths, you get wilder, and you also get your frostbitten wilder cloth, which is selling for a fair amount of gold right now. And now for this, you want to have a 2x4 farm with at least one monk, maybe one DPSer or two or a couple. But the main things you're going to need here are druids and hunters to be pulling the mobs to the statue. You're also going to want to have tailoring and enchanting for this farm, just for the maximum amount of gold per hour. So with your tailoring, you'll get extra cloth, and then with your enchanting, you actually have a chance to get like your blues, your purples, and then disenchant them. And that will really add up the gold per hour with this farm. So like I mentioned before, it's located right here, and is a very good gold farm. It's one of the best hyper spawns in the game at the moment, just because of how many mobs that you're actually able to kill here is insane. So you just want to set the statue up next to this little shack thing, and then just pull these guys from all around this place right here. And yes, they are humanoids, and so you will get a whole heap of golden cloth from these guys. Anyways guys, if you'd like more in-depth guides on how to make gold in Dragonflight, on farming spots, professions, just a whole heap of different things that you want to know about gold making in Dragonflight, my Dragonflight gold making guide will be the very first link down in the description box. And I also have a flipping guide for flipping on the auction house, so once you've been out there farming and grinding all the farming spots, you'll know how to reinvest your gold so it makes gold for you. Anyways guys, hit that thumbs up button, share it with a friend, and subscribe to the channel because there's going to be a lot more videos just like this one. Till next one,